G'day guys, welcome back again. I'm going to do a big canvas today, as you can see. It's a 150 centimetre by 50 centimetre or 60 inch by 20 inch. Now this is an old canvas. I did a green, different shades of green swipe on it. Wasn't very happy with it. I did it I think last year, so I'm going to repaint over it. One of our ladies at one of the workshops, Sue, hi Sue, she did a lovely pour with some browns and gold, and I haven't used those colours for quite a while, so I thought I would do a swipe for you today in those colours. So today, as per usual, I'm using floetrol as the pouring medium, and I've got white, gold, dark brown, kind of a tan colour, and black. So they're global impastos: white, brilliant gold, burnt sienna, raw sienna, and black. And because I'm pouring over another canvas, I have given it a light coat of black, and I've just covered it with my little cake spatula to spread it. I've also covered the sides in black with a smaller spatula, because I would like all my edges covered, and you don't always get your edges covered with a swipe. In the colours, I've put coconut milk hair serum, that one that has dimethicone in it. I use treadmill silicone, pure dimethicone, and coconut milk oil, and I just put it into this little squeezy bottle because it's easier than trying to pump one drop out. If you pump it, you get a whole stream, so I just want 1 drop per 30 grams or 1 drop per ounce. So I'm going to swipe black across the top there, and we're going to swipe that down over these colours. So I'm going to pour the colours vertically up and down, and then we're going to swipe horizontally. So I'll move these out of the way for now. They've all got silicone in them already, and I've stirred them probably. I'll show you in this one because I haven't got silicone in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done that. So 3 to 1. The paint sort of sits on top for a couple of seconds when you do that, and then vanishes. Doesn't disappear straight away. So I'll leave the black, that's for the swipe, and we'll start pouring out the colours. Almost to the top, leave a little section for the black, and I think today I've got 1.8 kilos of mixed paint, which is a lot of paint, but it's a big canvas. I am going to tilt the canvas once all my colours are on, so that they'll blend a little bit, so we don't have too much of the defined stripes. Go this lighter brown next, and just pour that in the middle. Lovely colour, kind of an orangey brown really. So I've got some light colours, some darker colours, and that's what you need to create cells. You need a mixture of light and dark colours to make your cells. If you're trying to swipe white over a pale colour, it's just not going to work. You need to swipe light over dark or dark over light to get your lovely cells to pop up so that they're more defined. Now some white. Black swipes over white obviously work really well. I'm just going to put little stripes of white in. Hopefully I've got enough white. Because I want the definition of the cells black against the white. I've got a little bit more white in another cup from yesterday, so I'll just grab that and use that as well for this last bit of canvas. Keep my leftover paints with some foil over the top just to keep them fresh. Not sure if I've got silicone in that one or not. Just add a couple of drops because I'm not sure if I've got any in there. A little bit more won't hurt. And last colour, our lovely pale gold. It's not a bright gold, it's just a pale gold, this one. And I'm just going to zigzag that up and down. If you've seen my other swiping videos, you'll know that gold reacts differently to the other colours. Dropping it. The gold I've mixed 2 parts floetrol to 1 part gold, because once it's mixed it tends to get really thin. It's just something that golds do, and if your gold is too thin, your cells will be all distorted. They won't be nice and round. Lovely little interactions there going on where I dropped my cup. Okay, so now I'm going to just try and mix these colours together a little bit, try to join them up where they're not meeting each other. So I'll just tilt. You can do these big canvases on your own. You don't need 2 people to help you tilt. You just pop the canvas on the end there. I've got big push pins, so they keep the canvas up off the table. And then tilt the other way. A lot of paint on here. You can't leave too much paint on your canvas for swipes, otherwise your design that you make, or the design that you end up with after you've swiped, will all be distorted if you've got too much paint left on there, because your paint will continue to move and those cells that you've created will spread. So you have to get enough paint off. Sorry if you can't see, I'm just tilting over the edge. You have to get enough paint off so that your cells won't be distorted. So there's quite a lot run over the edge there, which is what I needed. And that will make nice edges as well. The sides don't really get tilted as much. That's why I always like to cover my sides in black, or whatever your swipe colour is. Use that. Once you notice that your paint isn't flowing as fast as it was, then you should be okay to leave it. But if your paint is still flowing really fast, then it's an indication that you've got too much on there and you need to get some off. This should be okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of black here and there. I need to fill in these gaps. I think it's nice to have a little bit of your swipe colour here and there, just to give the eye a bit of a break from all the colours. Just a little bit. Okay. And tilt that. You can see the paint's still moving quite freely, which is an indication that there's still too much on there, so I'm going to tilt some of it off again. Because once I've got my lovely cells, I don't want them all distorted with my paint moving again. Okay, back to the middle. It should be okay. Now this little bit that's gone over the edge, I'm just going to clean that up. Push it back a little bit. That should be fine. Okay, time for the swipe colour, my black. Now I've made this maybe a tiny little bit thinner, just an extra little squirt of floetrol in there. Not a lot thinner than the other paints, just a touch. Push that back a little bit, make some room for my black. Make sure it's pushed up against the other colours. Fill in all your little gaps. You don't have to have a definite stripe of black up against your colours. I think it's nice for them to be a little bit zigzagged. Just pick up all that paint. You can go around and fix up your sides later on. Don't want to leave your paint on the canvas too long. It'll start to dry and you'll get a skin over the top, so don't leave it on too long. Okay, that's the black done. Now today to swipe with, I'm using what I normally use, my plastic sheets. It's the front and back of a document holder, so they were together with a little flap over the top to put your papers in, and I just cut them apart. You can get them from office supplies, In Australia, I get them from Officeworks, but stationery shops or office supplies should have them. Okay, ready to swipe. So I'm going to touch the plastic to the black, not right at the top because I don't want to make my edge bald on the canvas. Let it touch the black. I'm not putting any pressure on it, I'm just supporting it, and I'm going to gently pull back. And wipe it off. These bits here, you can go over them later on that it's missed. Make sure that it's touching all the way along and pull back. Now I've used both sides of that, so I'll throw it under the table on my piece of plastic that I've got there, and I'll keep going. I'll come back and fix up those little sections that haven't been swiped. Probably went a little bit too fast there. Slow is better. You get a better contact with your plastic. This is an old canvas, so it may be why it's not having the best contact everywhere, because it's been used already. It might be a little bit sort of warped because it's had paint on it before. I'm just going to, what am I going to do? I think I will just go and grab my little cards, my paint chip cards. These ones, little paint chip cards that I use when I'm doing small swipes. And you can just go over the areas that you've missed, like that. Turn it over, don't put your dirty paint back into your black, turn it over, use the other side. And then I throw it out. I don't like to use them a lot. I don't want my colours mixing into the black. So as you can see, cells popping up straight away. I think what I'll do, I might, because I've got a lot of black there, I might swipe over it again and see if I can make a little bit better contact. I've got lots of these plastic sheets. Turn it around, use the other side, the clean side, and go again. Still missing a little bit, but once the cells pop up and they start taking over, these areas won't really be noticeable, so I won't be swiping over them again. Every time you swipe, you can sort of see the edges where the two plastics meet each other. So I prefer only to swipe once, or if I'm going to swipe twice, as you can see, I do the whole thing again so that you don't see your edges as much. Last one. There we go. Right. better. Happy with that. Now I'm going to torch my little butane torch here, mainly up the top here where the black's a little bit thicker, and just help the cells pop through the black. Down here is fine, doesn't really need any. Don't get too close to your paint, don't want to melt it. If you heat it up too much, it'll be melted like melted ice cream and it'll start flowing again, and you don't want it to start flowing. Nearly at my 20 minutes of taping, I think, so if it goes black, bye. I'll see you next time. Might actually swap this little bit of black over here again. We'll see. No, probably not. Have to learn to say no. Don't over swipe. There's always going to be areas on your painting that you love and areas that you think, don't really like that so much, like that. That's okay. You find if you fiddle with it, you'll ruin it and then you won't like the whole thing. So just deal with the bits that you don't like as much, because it's beautiful as a whole. Just because you don't like it so much doesn't mean other people won't like it. We're too critical of ourselves, I think, sometimes. Beautiful cells coming up here. I really like these colours. It'll go in an earthy toned decor, I think. Someone that's going for earthy tones would really like this. And these black, this is where I poured the black, just so that your eyes had somewhere to rest. It wasn't too much colour. But I guess over here was a bit much, so, but anyway. Okay, I think that's done. I'll bring you in for a close-up.